Humans of the Cardboard. The OCG just released their new metagame report for actually the first week of 2023 in the OCG. Also, they just got their new ban list, so this would be with that new ban list in effect, which is very interesting as well because there were a lot of important hits that we thought like really did a good thing. But you'll see, it didn't do as much as we thought. Luckily, Kashtira is mostly just gone, and that was one of those decks. It's kind of like Flunder, where like when a deck that kind of just relies too much on like just kind of a boring, super standard, like lock you out of the game kind of strategy. You know what I mean? We'd rather see interaction because like there's a lot of stuff that can like beat interaction, but locking you out of the game is just like really boring and not cool. So, a deck like that probably had to go. But yeah, we'll see some of the hits here. Let's scroll down here, looking at the Metagame Pie Chart here. TEARLAMENT is still the best deck in the game. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, but even without Kit Kalos, with, I think, you're also missing 2 copies of the Field Spell. You're missing, I think, a copy of Havness, a copy of Rhino Heart, and a copy of, or 2 copies of Sharon. Like, so many cards are banned in the main, and the most important monster in the extra deck all banned. It doesn't matter. They still play. It's honestly crazy. We'll take a look at a deck list down below to see how they're coping with it, with the hits. But man, other than that though, I would say like this pie chart looks really nice. I mean, like I don't love TEARLAMENT, but you know what? I can always tolerate TEARLAMENT if it's 20% representation in Top Cut for sure. Especially if that was the most topping deck in the game. I would not be upset about it at all. It feels so much more beatable, which I'm sure it does to most people, right now in the OCG, especially more so than like the last couple formats. After that, we actually see a lot of Sprite representation. In fact, you could even argue that if you combined Pure Sprite, Gishki Sprite, and Tri-Brigade Sprite, you actually would have more representation than TEARLAMENT, which is very interesting to see because I think they have Totally Awesome banned, and they have Jet and Starter both at once, so they are hit way more than we have them hit here, which is kind of concerning because like even with you could argue it's the most represented deck overall, and that's with more hits than we have right now. So like if we hit TEARLAMENT really hard but don't touch Sprite at all, we would just have a much higher powered Sprite than they have in the OCG, and it probably would just go back into like the best slot in the game. And that's kind of worrisome, so I kind of hope they both get hit. Outside of that, a lot of cool stuff. Runic, I like the Runic engine. I don't like it when it's just built in like this super stunny, almost like Mystic Mine-esque fashion. That's no fun. Sky Striker? That's so weird that Sky Striker's just performing this well. Labyrinth, very cool to see. Adamancipator, another weird one. Bestial Dragon Link, Exosister, Pendulum Magicians, and obviously then you get to the other categories. There's a ton of cool stuff in there, obviously, but it's mostly just one-off decks that we're able to get a top here or there. Not a huge deal. So yeah, let's move down here and let's take a look at some of these lists here. So this first list is by Zakay. He went 6-1-1 and finished first in the 119th Next Play Cup. 34 participants, so a smaller tournament, but that's just kind of how the OCG rolls. They do a lot of smaller tournaments, not as many big ones. So let's take a look. So here's the tier list he is rocking with at this point in time. Pretty interesting, right? We still have a small little Kashtira package. We play as many, tier names as possible. Play as many, Shizu fairies as possible. Small Shadal package here that's really, really interesting to me. They're good to mill though. As far as normal summons go, like sure, I'll set a Squamata. Like that's fine, I guess. There, cool. They have Snow still around. Not too bad in this kind of deck, but like obviously still very good. Triple King of the Swamp. This card's insane in this deck because it like searches you poly, which like pretty much helps you send everything. And if you look at these monsters, like what monster isn't good at getting sent to grave here? Like, yep, sure, every name, the Shadals, her, himself, if you have other copies of him, like, literally, like, the whole deck wants to be sent to grave, so this card's really, really nice there. It also helps you access certain cool cards in the extra deck as well. The Maxi is going to be there. The one, the one orange light as well, whatever. And then you even have a maxed out Scream and maxed out Sully package just because they're the best spell traps to mill. This searches you one of your traps, this searches you any of your monsters, which gives you more access to them, even though they're cut down in numbers from the ban list. And yeah, very, very interesting. And even when you go to the extract, you see some very interesting stuff as well. With no Kit Kalos, you see them making up with like power cards such as just Winda. So you just end up winning games for free off of the back of Winda, I'm sure. You also have the can't even remember this guy's name right now, Chimera. Just because you're playing the poly package with the King of the Swamps. So this card's really cool. Power card at certain points. This card as well, because of King of the Swamp, accessible in the deck for another powerful negate. You know, the rank 4 package, pretty standard there. Still playing the sprites, because obviously being able to send Merly for fusions and then reborn her every turn to just get more and more mills. I mean, like, how many good mills do we have in the deck? Like 3, 6... I would call this 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 plus 9 is 22, plus like another 9. You got like 31 out of 41 cards are like good mills. So you mill 3. You may not hit a tier name every time, but you're probably going to hit at least 2 cards that like give you value. So every mill 3 is like a +2 essentially in most scenarios. So yeah, very, very crazy. And in the side deck, nothing too crazy here. None of this is that matter of fact, except for on the ban list, they did put Magnamut to 1, so you're seeing a smaller Bestial package, which is boom, 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 but they're still good enough on their own, especially Drew's Worm and Baldrake, so it's not even as big a deal to need Magnamut. I like that hit a lot. Hopefully we limit our Magnamuts as well. We also moved to the next one. This is by finished first in the China City tournament, which is 253 players. So this one's actually a pretty respectable show out. So Tri Brigade first out of 253 players. Pretty cool. Nothing too surprising here, to be honest. This is pretty much exactly what I would almost expect like a TCG list to look like, obviously barring the bans. And then in the extra, there's not much missing in the extra either. Like, we kind of all expected this stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think this makes sense. And without Toad, they have to make up for power somehow in Sprite. So this is how they're doing it. Makes sense. Moving on, we have the Runic list. So this is the like super stunny, almost Mystic Mine-esque Runic deck. You even see like insane cards like Shifter to, just have your opponent pass turn. Going second, Sphere Mode to break boards. In the main deck, very interesting. This might have been one of those tournaments where there's no siding. Oh, no, there's siding. There's side decks. Okay, I don't know. Don't listen to me then. 9 of, like, insane floodgates, obviously, and then just draw power and Runic stuff, so it works. Nothing crazy in the extra deck either. Yeah, fine. Phantasme in the side deck. Wow, burn card just to burn for a game. Very, very funny. Sky Striker. We actually have a Sky Striker. Oh, wait. What place did this guy get? This guy got 3rd out of a 60 person tournament. So, still cool. And then we move on. Sky Striker. This person got 5th to 8th in a 253-man tournament. Very cool. Anything crazy here? No, you got your Striker monsters. You have all your hand traps, the linkages. Everything looks pretty oh, they also have this at 3, which definitely helps their Striker builds. But, yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy here. Like, I don't know. I would have thought that, like, maybe I'd see something interesting with the Striker list to kind of make me be like, oh, that's why Striker's performing a little better in the OCG. But not really seeing anything too crazy there, but still good to see that Striker can play, because we've kind of jettisoned them out of the format and just we kind of all agree in the TCG that they haven't been good enough the last couple formats to even see play, but still cool to see. But yeah, really interesting overall. Hopefully we get a really diverse format post our next ban list. I know it's only been a month and we still have probably 2 more months before we get our ban list, but hopefully when we do, it does something similar to this. I mean, I'd like TEARLAMENT to not be the best deck in the game anymore, but if it's only got 20% representation in top cut and the format's like super diverse, I'd still be okay with it. So very, very interesting stuff here, guys. That's going to do it for me for today, though. Let me know your thoughts down below. I want to know your thoughts about this type of format and if you would be okay with this being the same route that we end up going. I definitely want to know where you guys land on that. So let me know in the comment section down below where you land, and I'll catch you in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't, and peace.